Hey guys, welcome to the Politicrats podcast. Here with starring
Will Dodd,
Andrew Proffer,
Matthew Sanderson,
and Jose Mendoza. And today is a very special day for our podcast. One of our speakers here, Matthew Sanderson, has just aged with the dinosaurs. Old ass.
Yeah, today's my birthday, whatever.
So how's it been going today?
Well, I mean, I went to the zoo, because I love animals. Animals are pretty lit. And then we went and ate our faces, not literally our faces, stuffed them with burgers. And then we went into a movie where Will actually laid on the floor about 20 minutes in and slept for the rest of it. So he spent $10 for a nap. And then we came here, so I mean, we're here to talk about our stuff.
Actually, you skipped this part where you destroyed my toilet, but
I don't feel like that should be on here, but maybe we can start over now.
poop is popular.
Or you can cut that part out.
No one
dude, nobody
get it?
Nobody gives a shit except for you in there.
I was waiting for one of y'all to say that, but you were a little late to
Nobody
punch.
fucking watches this shit anyway.
Okay, whatever.
Dude, nobody's watching it, they're listening to it.
No one's listening
Technically,
to it yet.
they are, since it's on YouTube.
Oh my god, I hate you. Let's just start.
Trump is saying that he's going to attack Republicans in their primaries if they do not support Trump Care. Most Republicans have a problem with the Trump Care, saying it is Obamacare light, within their own words, and they hope to rather completely repeal the bill instead of trying to repeal and replace it with something they still don't agree with. Is that something the de facto leader of the Republican Party should be doing?
Well, we got Obamacare light here going on, and we know how the light shit goes down.
It always tastes bad.
Yeah. That, and it's usually got something that fucks you worse.
Something like diet soda.
Like you get that diet soda, that whatever that chemical is, gives you cancer.
Taurine.
Aspartame?
Aspartame.
Oh, taurine.
Aspartame?
Suck acid.
Did you really just call it that? It's
Yeah.
aspartame. Freaking
Aspartame.
dirty Mexican.
Aspartame?
Is it spelled the same way? Did you understand what I was saying? Yes. Okay.
I was thinking taurine because it's in energy drinks and it comes from bull semen, and
No, it does
it's been
not.
on my mind. It's actually found in bull semen. So
I mean,
you're
it's
wrong.
actually found in it, but
It's
that's
also
not,
found
that's
in-
not the source of it. They
Well,
don't just...
it's synthetic. It's synthetic taurine. But
It-
I mean,
Red Bull, it gives you wings.
We've
It's
strayed
in
from
our
that
bodies,
part.
guys. It regulates
Okay,
our blood
start
salt.
it over. Fuck this.
It regulates our blood salt concentration. So
this is stupid.
It is just fine. We will continue. It is like 11:30. We are finishing this fucker. Okay. I don't believe that's something Trump should really be doing. I don't think overall the bill... Now, I do think they should actually pass the bill. Overall, I think it's a lot of tax cuts. I think it's a lot less spending. And I think it's something that will mediate the impact of versus a full repeal. But I don't believe at the same time that Trump should be threatening the livelihoods of those people, saying that I will attack you in the primaries and I will try to get you not elected. I don't think that's productive for the Republican Party as a whole.
I don't think that would be productive in any situation.
honestly, I don't think Trump's actually planning on getting any Republican out of office because they're at least partially on his team. I don't think he's really a Republican, but he ran as one, and he has to work with everybody to get things passed. And I think he's just strong-arming it, which is something that anybody can expect from Trump. So I don't really see a problem with it. I think it's predictable, and I think it works. It has worked in the past. So I think if he can make it work, then I have no issues with it whatsoever.
I mean, guys, let's look at it like this. Dude's president said a lot of shit.
Yeah, he's talking shit. He's the prez. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
That's also not true. He can't do what he wants.
I
that
mean,
would-
as far as we know, he can say he likes to grab pussy, and then that works.
And get elected.
Yeah, for real. Like, so...
I mean, that
was something he said like
exaggerated.
10 years ago. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
think
He
you
also
can really.
said it was also explicitly, and they just let you do whatever you want. You can grab them, but that explicitly says they will let you do what you want to do.
I mean, I don't think he was advocating for sexual
Yeah, just
assault.
like going up to random women, just gets a big handful of beaver and just
A beaver.
I can see the sound waves on that thing going nuts when when we started laughing.
I think it's more like that rich, situation where girls are just like, oh,
I'll let him bone me for a couple
Billionaire.
20s.
You can.
buy me a Miata.
Oh my god!
don't want a
but I
Miata.
mean, when a girl wants
Nobody
it, you can
really
tell.
wants
She
a
doesn't have to
Miata.
tell you. She doesn't
That's
have
that
to tell you.
affirmative consent bullshit.
No,
You're
I
signing
definitely feel like
forms.
no matter what, you should definitely confirm. With every physical move you make, you should definitely confirm, especially if she seems
it dep-
hesitant.
nah,
Do
because-
not
the
interrupt me
profile,
because
the more
listen,
paperwork.
listen, because there are cases where you could have sex with a girl and maybe she just wasn't feeling it, but she felt bad for you, and later she just totally regrets it. She can call it rape because there was no physical confirmation of yes. You
But
can
that
have
shouldn't
sex
be the
with
law. It shouldn't be.
me. It
if you
shouldn't be,
regret
but it
later.
kind of is. It doesn't
That-
matter.
no, that- it-
Still gets you labeled a sex offender. So
If
you
you're
should
in,
just go
like,
ahead and do your part.
California,
You
that's
can go
the-
ahead and do your part and just be like, "Is this okay?"
Well, how are
Reach
you gonna
down,
prove that?
finger her a little
That's
bit,
the
and if you
point
go
of it.
and like start kissing down her stomach, your tongue gets right above her clitoris. And, is this okay?
No,
You
that's
know, you might as-
demeaning.
yeah.
I'm
How?
going to read the situation. She's into it. She's into it. I'm not gonna like have her sign subsection D. I get to lick your
I'm
clit
just
now.
saying, if you just stop and she's just like, why'd you stop? And that's obviously saying she wants you to keep
Yeah,
going.
I mean,
Or
no,
if she
but
put
if
that's
you go
okay.
in and then you're
It's
just
But
like,
if you just go in and
it's
she's
stopping-
just like, "Fuck
yeah.
it, he's doing it," like I can't
It's-
stop him.
Well, then she should say something because I have to stop every 3 seconds to say, "Is this pushing okay?"
Think
at
think
the
about
end
it
of
from a perspective of a woman though, because think about I don't
I
like
would
this
say
guy might
no.
don't interrupt me. I'm not done. But you might think, okay, if I say no, what if he gets mad and beats the shit out of me? Okay. It's not a secret that women are physically not as strong as men. Even a weak man is stronger than most women.
I would never just accept a dick on the basis that maybe shit might turn wrong.
And that is why women are different than men. Among many
Just saying,
other
they
reasons.
think different than
It's-
us, so it
the
might
whole
not.
thing of affirmative consent is the idea that, for one, women are in some need. It's the meaning. It's if you're saying yes, that means yes. For first off, I mean, unless you have it like in writing, you're not going to be able to prove it. Did he ask for consent? No. Can you prove that you did?
Boy, I always got text messages. I set this shit up. I never
That didn't even matter.
spontaneously.
There was a college student who was I can't remember exactly which college, but he was kicked out of college because whenever they had sex, she was drunk. He was drunk also. Under the bylaws of the college, they called that rape, and he was kicked out of the college, even though they had
because
text
regret is
messages
rape.
of her saying, "Hey, I'm going to go have sex with this dude. Just letting you know where I'm at."
God
That
damn.
wasn't enough affirmative consent. That's why the whole thing's bullshit.
Okay, I feel really gay because he's blowing smoke rings on me with a fucking vape.
you don't get more faggot than this in here.
Well, I do have a Miata as well.
Well, he's got a $1 bill pinned up to his wall along with a shirtless black man with a really shitty goatee.
Yeah.
And also,
But very
what
impressive
looks-
abs.
And also, what looks like what came out of the, whatever those cookies
Yeah,
are called.
you're done.
Fortune
You're
cookie.
done.
Fortune cookie.
All right, continuing on with the same kind of Trump topic, it would be, is Trump's Twitter doing more harm than good? And now he has the right to his free speech, and he has the right to use a Twitter, but should he put the Twitter fingers away? Him and Meek Mill both.
I think we all just need to agree that Meek Mill, for one,
Got murdered.
let's just agree that he should just stop everything. Just live his life as a civilian. As far as Trump, he needs to be more responsible. He's the leader of the greatest country that's out right now. I mean, obviously, he's not the mayor of Texas, so, I mean, that's probably a lie.
That would
But-
also be called the governor.
Mayor, governor, the leader, the guy, the dude.
Cities have
wondering,
mayors.
there's-
I was
something
just
off.
throwing names out, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't
And I am just picking on you. I respect you. Continue.
gonna hurt you.
Stop staring at each other like that. It's like this is gonna get weird on my bed real quick.
Well, we are on your bed. Anyways, I think he should be more responsible as a presidential figurehead, as a leader, as the representative of our nation to other nations, he should put away the Twitter fingers. Yes, that's how I look at it.
Your thoughts,
It's
baby
irresponsible to just. Oh, well, I disagree with this, so my small hands are gonna tweet about this.
Yeah, I mean,
Shut the fuck up, pumpkin.
And we just lost all 18 of our viewers.
well, I mean, I really agree with that because if you're gonna use it as the president of the United States, you know, everybody's gonna see your shit. But if you're gonna say something good, you know, useful, productive, that'd be great. But since he's not really using it for such purpose, I'd agree.
He's doing it to throw tantrums. If he was doing
Yeah,
it productively, that'd be fine. But just like anything else, if you're not using it productively and it's becoming counterproductive, stop. Counterproductive?
Moving on to something off of that, another branch off of that is Trump uses Twitter recently to pretty much openly accuse Barack Obama of wiretapping him, which, according to at least all the different sources that are available, NSA, FBI, Congress, they have found no real evidence of any direct wiretapping of Trump, his team, Trump Tower.
Indirect.
Now, it has come out just like today that there was like indirect wiretapping. They just so happened to pick up some people of Trump's team. But even then, that's not the same thing as saying Obama, you know, wiretapped me. It's not the same thing, and that's a very big accusation.
That's kind of similar to like illegal use of government resources for a freaking government party, though.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that it's not like what he did was okay, but
That's still potential slander.
Yeah, it's a big accusation. Like if now technically the president of the United States could walk up to some random dude in the street, just rip his trachea out and start eating into it, and we could not do a damn thing about it. He would have to be impeached before we actually arrested him or did anything to him. Right now, the president of the United States is immune to all legality. Like, we can't just put him in prison. But, I mean, if it turns out that, you know, he was just straight up lying, like, he could get impeached for something like that. That could be such a conduct that they get enough people behind the idea. I'm not saying that he should be impeached. I'm saying that it's dangerous.
Okay. My question is, if the president randomly murders somebody, you don't think that they're immediately going to arrest him?
No, they cannot arrest him.
By ripping his trachea out.
He's legally immune. You have to impeach him before you can do anything.
I really feel like they can be like, fuck it, you're impeached, handcuffs.
Nope.
No, he's
That's so retarded.
just like anything else. He is a suspect until proven guilty, and he cannot be
If
arrested.
someone physically sees him ripping someone's trachea out, and he has their DNA dripping from his fucking face, I feel like that's evidence. I
mean,
feel like that is enough to be like, that's not a good idea. Now, granted, Trump's teeth probably aren't like real.
I'm not making the rules.
you
I'm
know.
just telling you that we have to impeach him first. After he has a
the Congress and Senate.
freaking meaty trach sandwich.
All right, this is just a random question, but do you think that there's anything Trump has done that would get him impeached right now?
No. I think that if more stuff doesn't come out like earlier today where they found out, well, we kind of picked up some of what Trump's team was saying. Like, if they don't come out with more of that stuff, if Trump doesn't come out with anything at all to back up his stuff, it could look really, really bad. Because it can make him look incompetent. It can make him look like he was lying. Which is just, it's a conduct issue. Like, whenever Bill was, you know, bouncing that head in the office.
Well, he can't play the incompetence card like Hillary did and lost the election, so.
Well, the reason I ask is because I've been listening around to different people when they like to throw out their opinions. They're like, yeah, Trump is going to get impeached real soon. And I'm thinking,
Even then,
Is
it's
is
a
there
stretch.
actual-
He might be really unpopular for the whole ordeal, but it would. I mean, basically, what people don't understand is they have to impeach him in a Republican-held Congress.
Which is not going to happen. He could probably do what,
And then they would
what
just,
some presidents
yeah.
have done and gotten impeached, and it would be really hard for that to happen because they will put something on that table and he will more than likely sign it because he ran as a Republican. He has to be a Republican.
He has to play ball.
Yeah, he has
And
to
that-
play the
and, you know,
game.
I don't think people understand. Like, I don't think Democrats mainly understand that if we like impeach Trump, the election doesn't restart. We don't like insert Hillary here. Like,
Insert Bernie Sanders here.
It's Pence.
Yikes.
Pence becomes president. There's like 4 or 5 different people that would have to fuck up before we hand
There
off.
would have to be 12
Yeah, it's like
at least.
it is,
10 or 12.
how many members of cabinet? Isn't it 12?
I'm not sure, but there's a lot of people.
Yeah, there's
that
like 12 people in cabinet that have to run through. You have to run through the vice president, the speaker
Freaking-
of the house.
Like the
Yeah, there's like
freaking
15 people.
education person, everybody.
Like, there's like 15 people before you get to a single Democrat, and I think it's a fruitless effort.
Every single leader of every single presidential department has to become president and be impeached before we have another election. And by then, they'll probably already have somebody lined up because they're like, oh, fuck, these people are
8
screwing
years
us.
have passed.
Yeah, literally.
Like, never really thought about it like that. Now that I'm thinking, these people look even more stupid than the before.
It's because they're too stupid to understand the system.
They wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders. You really think they're that smart?
No.
Yikes. Yikes.
Bernie Sanders, the one that's obsessed with the top 1%, and he owns fucking 3 houses. He's talking shit.
He pays less taxes than a freaking McDonald's manager.
I mean, I really feel like he just wanted that position. That 400K
Oh, yeah.
check is lit.
Like, the dude,
More than he's ever gotten paid.
he looks like someone who would heckle the Muppets. Like, that's the... and they
The
want to
dude's-
make him president?
The dude's in like $2 million of debt. He's leeching off society any way he can. He's gonna die in 10 years and leave $2 million for for the government to foot the bill.
I give it less than 10 years. Dude looks stressed.
Imagine if he became president. He wouldn't even make full term.
His hair would fall off. It wouldn't turn white because
he
it's
would
already
just
there.
die.
Like so many aborted babies he would be behind.
Speaking of, how
We
do you feel
need-
about abortion? Did we talk about that?
We did never talk
We need to get rid of the 1% because I do not like jobs.
And abortion.
And we need to make abortion paid for not by me because I don't pay that many taxes.
That dipshit doesn't even understand that, like, the top 1% isn't just, like, the fucking billionaires. It's the billionaires.
Yeah, like,
no,
top
dude,
1%
it's
is
top
actually
it's like
200,000. Like,
$250,000 joint household.
yeah, 6 figures. Like,
So like if you got a doctor and a psychologist in one house,
If
then
you
they're
run-
making
yeah.
they're in the 1%.
If you run a Burger King, if you own a Burger King, you're in the top 1%, and they want to take half your shit. So you can't afford to
the total
employ anybody.
the total taxes that Bernie Sanders list had, the top bracket, Social Security, Medicaid, and income tax combined would be around 75%. The top bracket. So what's the point of even making $2 million? They'd go get a job at fucking McDonald's being a manager because they'd probably make more money.
I would just artificially limit my income. If at 250 grand, I get 60% of my income taken away. I would just make 249 grand.
I would put
And technically, I'd make more because I keep more.
I would have like 400 401ks. So because they limit the amount that you can put in tax free. So you'd have to have like 400 different freaking 401ks. You would turn 70 or like 65 or however much the retirement age is going to be by then. And then you'd have
Jesus, Matt.
hopefully there would be a Republican president by then who has fixed the taxes, and you wouldn't have to pay 75% on your retirement income to have the same lifestyle as you did before.
It's It's simply ridiculous what Bernie Sanders thinks he can do. If you were to take the money of all the 1% in this country, it wouldn't be able to fund a single government program for more than 10 years. One. Not all of them. One. And then you would be out of money and out of jobs and out of everything. But that's the thing. That's what he wants. He doesn't really care. Bernie Sanders is not a nice guy. He speaks all this socialist crap, but then he owns 3 houses and tries to pay his least amount of taxes as he can. Bernie Sanders is a horrible human being. He has leached off society for as long as he's been around. And Bernie Sanders, what people used to think was, wow, I think Bernie's a nice guy. I think he has his ideas. I just don't agree with them. That's the problem. No, Bernie is a raging boner of a man. And Bernie Sanders, they had a live insurance debate, Ted Cruz versus Bernie Sanders, and they had a salon owner, this woman, come up to him during the debate, and she asked, I employ 49 people. Do you know why? Because at 50, Obamacare kicks in, and I have to give all of them insurance under my dime. And she's like, I would love to employ more people. I would love to grow. I can't afford to do that. What would you do? And he's like, well, I believe that all Americans deserve insurance like you do. And she's like, I don't have insurance. I can't afford it. And he's like, well, oh well. I believe, I'm sorry, I don't think this is going to be the answer you're looking for, but I believe that if you own a business, you should provide health care. And he was like, I can't afford it. Well then, maybe you should go out of business. And at that moment, you realize Bernie Sanders is a huge wrinkled cocksucker who either does not care about the people and understands what he's talking about, or he does not care about the people and doesn't understand what he's talking about. I'm not sure which one's scarier. It's such a horrible... Socialism is basically... Anyways, socialism versus capitalism. It's a very simple difference in basic rights. It's the difference between positive and negative rights. Negative rights are what's in the Constitution. That's the Bill of Rights. That's the first 10 amendments. That is what the government cannot take from you. That is what you have: freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to peaceful assembly, all that different stuff. It is stuff the government cannot take away from you.
That was just the first
Others. ETC. But versus positive rights, what is inherently in socialism. Positive rights are anything what the government or what the world owes you simply for being alive. Which is technically nothing, but like you're owed food, you're owed shelter, you're owed water, you're owed healthcare. These are all nice things, but you're not owed shit. It's just that simple. You don't deserve anything. You can work hard for anything. I think Andrew's praying to Allah.
Man, we really need a camera for this. Like the stuff that goes on.
Were you stretching or facing towards Mecca?
I don't know.
It's just whichever. If it accomplished both, it accomplished both. But that's the difference: positive and negative rights. It is inherently, I'm here, I'm breathing, give me shit. In the words of Ben Shapiro. I don't know if he said the shit part. He might have.
Regardless of that, man, that just irritates me when I hear this, like, I deserve this. It's like,
yeah.
It's like, just for being alive, it's like, but but when somebody deserves more and it's not you,
well, you may have some. It's all this. It's all this. It's that socialism. It's inherently people are owed things and they want to give you things. And it's in the story of Ronald Reagan. He had some guy write in from the young Republicans for freedom or whatever it was. But he had He had him right in. He had him right in, and the young man talked about an encounter he had at the college. He was talking about he met a socialist, and they had a lively debate, to say the least. And as they were arguing, she kept getting more upset, and he out of nowhere had the idea and started talking. He said, "I believe, that people should be able to be guaranteed food, health care, housing, and all this different stuff." And then, the woman was certain that she had a convert. She was just like, "Oh, well, that's everything that socialism provides." And he was like, "You know what else I want? I want a yacht." And then she's just like, "What?" Obviously upset. She thinks he's playing around. He's like, no, you got to hear me. I want a yacht." "Well, that's silly. Only you?" He's like, "Well, then what about everyone has a yacht?" And she's like, at this point, she's just interested. Like, how? How would everyone have a yacht? Don't worry me with that. We'll find a way. Everyone should have a yacht. And she's like, "Oh, all right."
Made out of tires like
And
Cuba does it?
then he says, "But there's one more thing." And she goes, "What's that?" "I want 2 yachts." And she's like, it's people like you that keep socialism from working. And he's right. And he's like, "You're right. But how many of me are there?" And she goes, "Not that many." "Well, how many people like him are there? How many people aspire? How many people have dreams that the government can't give you?" If socialism promises to feed you, house you, and put clothes on your back. All the same things as promised to a prisoner or a slave.
Yeah.
There's all these people that socialism can't provide for. The people that want more.
I mean, imagine living with your parents all your life. Like, you have to live under their house, their rules, kind of thing, all your life. You're
I
like,
wouldn't live that long.
I
you
would
probably
die.
You'd probably die at like
Because I fucking
25
want
when
to.
you realize.
It wouldn't be of natural causes. So
Just murdered in your sleep.
no, I would probably no. I guess instead of killing myself, I could just kill them so I could live in jail, which is probably better.
Regardless, you see where this is going. Imagine your parents are the ultimate government. That's what's like going on here. It's like, oh, but you got your nice people. They're real good. Oh, good example. My boy Will said. It's like, what about the guy that's gonna follow that one?
Yeah, it's they think it's to them no one should have more. No one deserves success. No one deserves wealth. It's ridiculous. It is inherently by force. That's the one thing that comes with positive rights. Because you are owed something, if you don't have it, you inherently have to take it away from someone else. And if they don't want to give it to you, you have to take it forcefully at the end of a gun. That is what this is in the end. In order to provide health care, you're going to have to steal someone's money. In order to provide food, you're going to have to steal someone's food for maybe lower cost. Regardless, that's still stealing. It's not what they could have gotten for it, but someone else is owed it. If you go to school for 10 years, you rack up a huge amount of debt. You want to be a doctor, and you want to go out to LA and be some fucking boob job expert.
Hella.
But the government says, "Oh, I'm sorry, no shit, Alabama doesn't have a doctor, and so therefore you're going to be sent to no shit, Alabama, working 7 days a week because you're the only doctor, and you're not going to end up making that much money because you're not in a place of high demand. We get to determine how much you make." No, because there's one problem with that. If one, you aren't owed my services. One, you don't get to tell me where to go. You don't get to tell me where to live. You don't get to tell me where to work and what to do. One little pesky amendment in the way of that is the 13th Amendment, no slavery or forced servitude. If we just get rid of that pesky little amendment, socialism will go off just amazingly. It will go off so
unless
well.
we shoot all the socialists, we can just have slaves again, I guess.
It's like that one episode of Archer, and it's like, so my grandparents used to sit around and bitch about Abraham Lincoln. Why? Apparently slavery was awesome. It's like, why? He's like, what do you mean? Arch is like, what do you mean why? It's free labor. Not the slavery, you ass. All right, Matthew's back, so now on to the topic of abortion.
The one that's been beat to death since like the start of history.
Speaking of abortion, that actually ties in directly to Tomi Lahren.
Or injected to death, either one.
All right, let's talk about Tomi Lahren first and then just get into the topic of abortion. Tomi Lahren is suspended from the Blaze, run by Glenn Beck. Run by Glenn Beck, and it comes following an interview on The View where she said that she believes pro-life conservatives are hypocritical because of their views on being pro-life, and that she is personally pro-choice. Now, she has been suspended since those comments, and I have nothing really a problem with her saying that she's pro-choice, other than I disagree with the stance. What I do disagree with quite heavily is her attacking her own side, the people who pay her bills, and the people that she talks about freedom of speech, but and then she attacks people for their stance. This isn't a hypocritical stance. This is whether or not this is a morality stance, and it has nothing to do with. This is not a hypocritical thing to be talking about at the moment. This is a very nuanced issue, and she's trying to call people hypocritical, and she's not taking that back. She's not saying, well, maybe I said it in a harsher way than I meant. She's doubling down. She's saying that all people that are pro-life are hypocritical if you're conservative. And that's not okay. Now, a business has the right to suspend anyone for any fucking reason they want. And so, therefore, she's going to have to bitch and moan somewhere else because they can fire her if they so choose. What do you guys think about the whole Tomi Lahren situation and what she said?
I think she's an idiot. She's definitely stupid for... That's like biting the hand that feeds you. Literally. Literally the hand that literally feeds her.
Yeah.
She's just like, fuck that. So, maybe she should get out of politics because half the time she gets wrecked anyways, let's be honest.
She's really pretty, but I've always noticed that she does not do well in debates. Because I've seen her like on Trevor Noah's show, The Daily Show.
Trevor destroyed her.
It's like we wasn't even asking hard questions. Like she just got. Oh, I almost said a different terminology than she got destroyed. She got destroyed on live air, because that's not the term I usually would have used, but out of sensitivity.
Sensitivity. Are you sensitive, Will?
Oh,
Where at?
Everywhere.
No, it's concentrated on my dick and nipples.
Oh, okay. That's usually where it's concentrated on people, so you're normal. Congratulations. You can go home.
Thank you.
I'll write you a prescription for Advil.
I mean, anyways, onto the topic of abortion. I've actually been speaking a lot of the time, so I'm going to force this microphone into Jose's mouth as he gets to be the first speaker. Say which one.
I went completely blank on it, but let me remember.
I mean, no.
Crap. No, but I mean, okay. What it's like, for me, I personally actually had a child lost, so it actually affected me. So where I started thinking, it's like, okay, so somebody gets to do that on their choice, like they just say, okay, I don't want this child, kill it. But what if somebody else wanted it? What is going on over here?
He is. Is that twerking?
You don't even have enough booty to do that. Sit down.
Okay. Point is, I mean, you shouldn't be able to choose whether you can just get rid of it just because you don't want it. And
are you pro-choice or anti-consequences?
Man, I'd probably say like consequences.
Consequences.
Consequential.
Consequences.
Consequences.
The stuff you do drunk on Kwanzaa.
You had to clarify that so much. That was sad.
Come here. Share your views.
I think this woman has some very delusional views on the planet of Earth, and I don't think she understands humanity as well as she does. As well as she thinks that she does. She has views that most people don't agree with, even if they agree with her that abortion should be a decision for a woman. I think that we could, if not making it illegal, scale it back to requiring a doctor to determine whether it'd be safe for her to have a child or not, or if she's a rape victim. I think that would be a good step towards getting rid of it altogether. It's just a family thing. Back in the day, you had a kid, you just went through with it. And if you had health issues or died from it, then it was a sad thing, and everybody in your family was sad about it. I mean, it's not...
We're also like several centuries worth of technology ahead of those days.
Yeah, where we don't exactly die in childbirth 50% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous to use that argument. Liberals, they pick and choose the arguments they use. If we can use the 0.56% or whatever number it is of childbirths to make an argument over 100% of childbirths, then we can use the percentages of black communities and other things like that, race issues, political issues in general, and ethnic issues to make arguments that are inherently racist or just bigoted in general, even though I seriously hate using that word because I hate it.
Not saying that it's okay, to clarify. He's not saying that's okay. He's just saying if that's the mindset we're using, then that's how it could be used in another ill-mannered way.
Because liberals, I have said this for a while, and I think this is going to be one of my personal things. Liberals have a horrible past and present with something I call logical continuity. The ability to think of their idea all the way to the end in all the different ways it can be branched out and used. They do not have the ability to do it. They will get to the first branch and the line stops there. And it does not matter about all the other ways. The same argument, what it applies to, what it means in the end. It means that if your reason for being pro-choice is because you don't think it's a human because it can't think, all right? So you just dehumanized every person in a 3-day coma. We get to just start lopping off heads now. You have to think
they're
about
a waste of resources. We need to get rid of them.
You have to start thinking about your ideas all the way to the end and what they apply to, because that's what they're going to be used for in the future. That's how the legal system works. An argument made in one way will apply to an argument made another. That's why all of these things are important. I believe, first off, I don't even think it should even be decided on a federal level. I know for a fact that abortion was nowhere in the Constitution. The 11th Amendment wasn't the right to stick a hanger up there and drag it out if you could. That's not what that is. Abortion is not protected in the Constitution. You do not have the right to have an abortion in the Constitution. The court doesn't have the right to tell you you have the right.
And here's the thing. The thing with abortion is, like, people are just using it as an excuse now to shun off responsibility, to just shrug that off. Not shun, I'm sorry. And, like, people make the argument, oh, what about rape victims? Like, okay, let's say rape victims. All right, what about the other abortions? Are those okay, or are those not okay? Because if we just take rape victims and, like, sure, I can maybe live with that because of the traumatic experience and the mental damage that it causes. Anything past that, it's just stupid. Oh, I got pregnant and I didn't want to bring my kid into a financially screwed up situation. Well, that's your fucking fault for not, like,
Condoms
for
are
not
$9.
condoms work. Sure, they can bust. If you don't want to have a baby, don't have sex. I mean, if you're that worried about it to the point where you're willing to kill a baby, because that's what you're killing, it doesn't matter how old it is. There is brain activity after 9 weeks, man. Like, you don't get to decide that. And I could use it. I'm a Christian. I could push it from my point of view as a Christian, but the thing is, it's just not right to take a life in general. I'm not going to base this off the Bible. I mean, I know atheist people that are just like, hey, I don't want to be killed because that's not cool. You don't do that. And I'm pretty sure if the baby had the ability to speak, which it can learn to do if you don't kill it, they'll say, please don't murder me before I get a chance to live my life, because you don't get to decide what they do later on. Because there's been people that have come from nothing and turned into millionaires. They might make something of their life. That's not your decision.
In Africa.
Don't.
You don't have the financial resources. Come here, Tawanga. We got to start slitting throats. You don't have the financial resources. You have a smile on your face from playing soccer. You're all right with your life? Nope.
Fuck it.
There's people that have actually...
Our life is better than yours, so we're gonna mow you all down with our 50 cals.
Machete for you.
I love the way Ben Shapiro put it when he said, "Does the vagina magically confer personhood? If it's even, it's human. At the very least, it is a human fetus. It is human cells. If it is at least partially human, does it at least deserve partial human rights? You liberals will afford more human rights to eagle eggs than they will human babies, and that is a weird place to live in where the standards are that much different. People have argued, because this is how this is where their logical continuity ends. Those babies have to not be babies. And those babies have to not be babies to a certain point. What point is that? For a lot of liberals, it actually is birth. People have argued in the past on large stages the ability to abort a baby that is 9 months to term and is just about to come out. You get to just stab that sucker in the head and cut it up and suck it out, because it's not a baby until it pops out. People have actually argued that a born baby, I think Obama argued this one time and then quickly shut up about it because it is a losing argument. He argued that a baby freshly born could be killed because it is just an extended fetus.
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't remember exactly the terms he used, but that is exactly the argument he had. It did not, a freshly born baby within like a certain time period could still be killed.
Yeah, but what about a year?
They don't. I can't remember the time frame.
2 hours? What's the difference? 2 hours a year? A month inside of the mom? I just don't get it.
My body, my choices. Well, you have a baby inside of you.
That's its body.
It is no longer yours. Yes, it has to live with you. It also has to live with you for the first 2 years. If you just drop your baby on the doorstep, it cannot survive without you. You don't get to kill that baby.
Yeah, that's called murder at that point.
If your whole argument is its ability to survive on its own, we should kill everything that's a toddler. They will all die. That is a shit argument. From the very moment of conception, it has its own DNA. It's not you, it's not the father. It is itself. It has its own DNA. It is no longer who you are or who he was. It is its own thing. It is going to become a baby if you just Don't fuck it up. And so you just have to get out of the way. You make your own choices. And if your choices led to this, you have to deal with the consequences. You don't get to kill something just because you made the wrong choices. Don't get drunk at a party. You might end up pregnant. Don't have sex without a condom. You might end up pregnant. If you're worried about the condom breaking, use 2 condoms.
Buy a Plan B. They're like $10.
Go get a fucking Sprintec from Walmart. None of this stuff is that hard.
Well, I mean, that I was about to say something about that. You know, I advocate for Plan B. I'm okay with that because
That's not destroying a fetus. That's destroying the sperm.
No.
Before it gets to the egg, is it not?
It prevents the egg from implanting inside of the mother. So the egg is already, you know, already conceptualized, but it has not implanted inside of the mother's uterus yet. So what I'm saying is,
even then, I think that can be accepted because it's not like, very basically, if we were determined that as a baby, the second we learn how to gene splice, that's a baby. I think it would be a baby as soon as it really attaches to the mother and starts growing.
Yeah.
Because if we could just gene splice 2 people together and all of a sudden the cells start replicating, is that a baby?
Fuck, that's crazy.
Yeah, because we have to have the ability to, you know, research things like that.
Logical continuity. I'm not a hypocrite. Continue. I'm very sorry.
All right. What I'm saying is, you know, we gotta be able to have scientists to have the right to do things like that because that can bring us forward in the medical field, you know. And if they want to do crazy experiments with like splicing animals with humans and stuff, I'm okay with that too because I think it's cool, honestly.
I want a cheetah tail. Let's do this.
Yes, heck yeah. You know, if they want to research things like that, as long as they don't bring it to full life, where you have one of those like freaking blobs that's like, kill me, you know, kill me.
That episode of Family Guy where they have the half Kermit, half pig baby.
Yeah, I mean, like the stuff like that, you know. If they can create,
I live in constant pain.
Yeah, like if they want to put human DNA inside of a mouse to make it smarter, that's okay. If they want to use specific things to create hybrid organisms, that is awesome. I think that's completely cool. But I don't want them to, you know, start making like freaking humans with lion heads and stuff because they'll want to kill themselves. You know, they won't have a happy life because they're being in a society where everybody looks at them and they're like...
They'll have a lion brain, so they'll probably just want to kill everything else.
Yeah, probably. But
also, I feel like they'd be
also become enraged because their hands don't work as claws. So they're they're grabbing. They're 5'2", grabbing a 6'8" man, trying to gnaw into his neck. They just get knocked the fuck out. I don't know. They might bite their hand off.
I got about 3 more topics that we can talk about.
Jesus
you guys want to get
I think.
I mean, we've gone through most of them.
We've gone through a bunch. We can save it for next time.
Yeah, we've hit 48. So.
Yeah. Well, guys, it seems we are out of time here. So catch us next time
on Don't Be a Bitch.
Actually, Politico.com. Actually, I have made a website.
Well,
Politicrats podcast.
Not Politico.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
Leftist bitches.
Yeah. All right. Have a nice day, night, whatever.
Whatever time.
actually, don't.
Okay.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Okay.
Whatever.